Please be seated. It is a gift and a blessing to be invited to speak with you this morning in this warm day in Newport. My son traveled from Denver to Vail yesterday, and it was 10 degrees below zero when he got there. So thank God for your warmth. I hope what I'm about to say this morning will make your ears tingle. In the name of the one holy and indivisible Trinity. Amen. And Philip calls to Nathanael, "Come and see." Turn back the clock with me to the winter of 1882. A very young girl in Alabama is plunged into total darkness. At the age of 19 months, her sight is stolen from her. She descends into darkness, loses her sight, and can no longer speak. And then, 4 years later, at the age of 6, she's embraced by the love and healing of a gifted teacher. Guided by her teacher, she starts the long climb back from darkness into light, from isolation to friendship, to comradeship, knowledge, and love. Thus begins the faith journey of the amazing woman, Helen Keller. In these short, dark days of Epiphany, we are invited to come and see. We are called to discover who is this Son of Man. Last week, the three magi responded to that call. They traveled for many days, for weeks, for months perhaps, following the star that beckons them. They follow the star that calls them, "Come and see." Jesus calls Philip and Nathanael to a journey of faith. "Follow me. Come and see." Nathanael's hesitant, but so often those called immediately find reasons to object. Moses protests, "I'm a terrible public speaker." Jeremiah says, "I'm just too young." The boy Samuel must be called from his bed 3 times before he recognizes the voice of the Lord. And yet each does accept the call. Samuel will go on to become judge, kingmaker, prophet, and priest. Like Nathanael and Philip, each of these go forth to bear witness to the glory of God. Nathanael doesn't understand Philip's invitation. He gets it wrong. So often, our lived experience blinds our ability to see. Mark Twain's advice reminds Nathanael, it's what you know for sure that ain't so, that's what gets you into trouble. In biblical times, Nazareth was a low-income zip code. It was like East St. Louis, South Chicago, or modern-day Detroit. Nathanael's instinctive reaction is, can anything good come out of Nazareth? The three magi, those who travel from far away, they see. The 3 Eastern kings come. Following that star, they are led to the home where the child is lying. Presenting their treasure, they recognize the infant Christ child as Emmanuel, God with us. The Gospel of John, from which we read today, invites us to come and see. And in seeing, we shall understand who this Jesus is. Jesus tells Nathanael, "If you think it was amazing that I could know you from beneath that fig tree, just wait and see. I'll show you even greater things." And so he does. Through the first 12 chapters of John's Gospel, Jesus offers us 7 amazing signs that point beyond themselves that point directly to Jesus' relationship with God. The first of these, the one we all know so well, is turning water into wine at the wedding in Cana. To the casual viewer, converting 180 gallons of water into wine just sort of seems like a magic trick. But for those who have eyes to see, it reveals the glory and abundance of God revealed in Jesus Christ. Standing close by as witnesses, the disciples understand now and believe in Jesus. A few days later, Jesus shows us another amazing sign. He's approached by a royal official desperately seeking health for his son, who lies near death. Jesus is hesitant. He suspects that the official sees Jesus simply as a trickster, a street juggler, a miracle worker. So Jesus pushes back. Do you have to see signs and wonders to really believe? Well, desperate, the royal official presses on with his passionate plea. So Jesus relents. Go, Jesus says, your boy will live. The official rushes home. There he discovers that his son has recovered. Comparing their watches, he and his family calculate that the boy's recovery begins at the instant Jesus spoke. Now they see, now they understand who this Jesus is. God gives us space. God allows time for our faith to mature from seeing, then understanding, and finally believing. And now Jesus draws back the curtain to reveal who this Son of God, who is this Son of Man. Drawing on the example of Jacob's dream in the book of Genesis, Jesus discloses his human purpose. Jacob dreams of a ladder that connects heaven and earth, upon which the angels ascend and descend. Very truly, I tell you, you will see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. Jesus is our ladder, our two-way connection with God. Jesus bears our prayers and thanksgivings heavenward to the divine light. In response, heavenly blessings, comfort, and insight descend to us down the rungs of the heavenly ladder. The events of this past year test our faith. Where do we find our God amidst the terror and physical violence witnessed in the horrors of the Mideast conflict? Where is God shrouded by the darkness of hate directed against those of the Jewish faith, towards MAGA extremists or those of the far left? How do we find our way out of this darkness? How do we find our way back to the light? Helen Keller is our example of hope. Helen writes in her autobiography, "Have you ever been at sea in a dense fog, on a great ship groping toward the shore, not knowing where or how near the harbor is? Light, give me light is my soul's wordless cry. I sense approaching footsteps. I stretch out my hand. Is it my mother? No, I'm caught up and drawn close in the arms of my new teacher. I'm embraced in the arms of the one who comes to reveal all things to me." And thus Helen concludes, "I came up out of Egypt and stood before Sinai. A power divine touched my spirit. It was the power of sight, so that I beheld many wonders. And from the sacred mountain I heard a voice which said, 'Knowledge is love, and light, and vision.'" Courage. Take courage, cries the psalmist this morning, as we seek to find light out of darkness. "O Lord, you have searched me out, and you know me. You know my resting and my rising up. You know my every thought from far off. When the darkness covers me and the light is overcome by night, I call upon you. I know darkness is not dark to you. My night shall become as bright as the day, for darkness is as light to you. Jesus calls us, come and see. Amen.